Hey everybody, welcome back to another reaction video. This is Stand-up from Daniel Tosh. Daniel Tosh is one of my favorite stand-ups. You know, he did stand-up for a while, then he got the Tosh.0 Comedy Central show, and it's been radio silence ever since. I think he did one, this video is actually from one that he put out in 2014, I think. And I've missed it because he's been on Tosh.0 for all these years. And I'm just like, finally he's leaving it. Hopefully we see some more specials because it's been a long time. So this is, how do 90% of Americans have jobs? And with automation happening, it's going to be more like 100%. All right, let's get into it. Leave a recommendation down below and I'll get to it.
It is great to be here in America. Oh, yeah. The greatest country in the world, if you haven't traveled a lot. Do we have to constantly scream we're number one?
That's usually the opposite of what people say. They usually say, hey, travel a little and you'll realize how good we have it. But I do think we are missing out on quite a lot of like history and stuff like that, because this country is not very old. Not very old. Our buildings are rather new. It's just we don't have those cool like cobblestone, walkways, and the cities aren't made to walk really. I mean, it's like walking / driving unless you live exactly downtown. It's not as I don't know. That's probably why we travel to Europe and other areas, Asia, just to get a taste of like super old history.
Always the people that live in the most boring parts of this country that scream the loudest. People in Kansas, we're the greatest country in the world. It's like, do you guys have internet there? You ever seen a photo of Fiji? I've never been to Fiji, but I've seen photos. It looks pretty amazing. It's hard to think we're better than that. We're top 10. Maybe if we started screaming that every day, maybe terrorists would stop trying to saw our heads off. We're top 10. And they'd be like, that's fair.
That's fair.
It was that number one stuff that was getting old. America's basically turned into one of these factories where we just have a sign up, like, it's been 22 days since our last horrible thing. And it's like, oh, all right, rip it down. We're back at zero again. These things just keep happening. Whether it's Ferguson or Baltimore. I can solve racist cops. That's an easy fix. But nobody comes to me for the answers. You want to get rid of that forever? How about this? Only black people should be allowed to be cops. Boom, problem solved.
Done and done.
And if any of you have issue with this, it's because you're racist. Well, what about white people? White people can be firefighters. We're more outdoorsy, it makes sense. White people firefighters, black people cops. Who wants tickets to the softball game now? Yeah, it's gonna get pretty tense. Might wanna put in a mercy rule. And the next time we have one of these tragedies, inevitably we will, and you happen to be so unfortunate enough to know the person that's being accused of the crime, do us all a favor and don't get on TV the next day and be like, I lived next to him for 32 years. I never could have seen this coming. Maybe you should be locked up for 6 months. I find nothing more disrespectful. You never could have seen it coming. I've never met anyone in my entire life that I couldn't wrap my brain around the fact that they are capable of awful things. Literally no one.
Everyone has red flags, and I always love that when people get on TV. I never saw it coming. He was a good guy. It's like, you didn't see any red flags at all? Like, how close are you paying attention?
My mom could blow up a nursery. And if you put me on TV the next day and I was completely honest with myself, I'd be like, I can fucking see it. No, it makes sense. Sometimes when I was a kid, I'd come home from school, she wasn't happy to see me. I think she hates children. Ladies, know that every man you're sitting next to tonight, if you could get into their head and see every thought they have ever had, you would immediately pull out a gun and blow your head off. Because trust me, they're capable of anything. All day long, every day, nothing but twisted, weird, awful shit is just going round and round and round. And what do you do at night? You snuggle up next to them because you're so happy that you're not alone. And I think that says more about you. That notion that your parents raised you on, stand by your man, if you're insane. The second your man gets accused of anything, you immediately distance yourself. Yeah. Just be like, I don't know what the fuck he's into. And buy clothes in the next town, we'll forgive you. By the way, I do love this country.
Which is why I always love those celebrities that the wife always sticks around, even though they like cheat on them or do some ridiculous stuff. It's like, just leave. Just leave. You have money. They have money. When you divorce, you'll get money. Just leave.
We're the only place with any diversity. The entire planet's segregated. You realize that when you watch international sports. Like I was trying to watch the World Cup, despite hating it. I get it, soccer's the most popular sport on the planet. That's because half the world can't afford AC. And that's about...
I can't even imagine living in Texas without air conditioning. Like, it's been kicking on now, and we're only in May. Just June, July, August, September, even parts of October. Good luck.
How long you have to run just to get tired enough to fall asleep in these godforsaken countries. You ever try to gamble on soccer? What's the over-under? 0.5? How much time's left? It's a secret. I'm out.
Yeah, overtime.
But we have diversity. Other teams don't. Or if you look at the Olympics, you look at our U.S. gymnastics squad. We have an Asian girl, a white...
This is true. This is weirdly true. Where you look at the other teams and you're like, I'm seeing a pattern here. And then you look at our team and it's just super diverse.
Girl, a black girl. Look at the Chinese squad. Any guesses?
Yeah.
Did you guess exclusively Chinese bitches? Yeah, that's all that's ever been on that team. That's all.
Yet we're called the most racist country in the world. It's like, really? How about you try to go on the Chinese Olympic team? See how that works.
All that will ever be on that team. And they wonder why they're not getting golds anymore. Well, you better get a Harlem in China. You think snapping together iPads all day is tough? It is not as tough as it used to be. Now they have suicide nets around their building so they can jump out, bounce right back. Sorry, boss, just need some fresh air. Back to making Americans more stuff? You got it. This is a tough joke to do as a white comedian, but here goes.
Here we go.
Because where this country is now, from where we came from, is pretty remarkable. There's nothing more shameful in our country's past than slavery. Okay, that's horrible. But I've grown up in a generation where I've idolized black people my entire life. They are better at everything.
Michael Jordan. Be like Mike.
So the fact that we pulled off slavery, I've already said it's awful. That's off the table. I'm just saying it's kind of neat. I mean, at any point, they could have been like, you know we can just run away, right? And you will never catch us. And if you do, we will beat the living shit out of you. Right, that's about how well that joke should go over. There's a fine line between appreciating the sarcasm and, ooh, this feels like a rally. And you did well. That's a joke I do not do everywhere. That's a joke, if the audience gets a little too excited, I shut it down. You start hearing a couple yee-haws, trouble's a brewing. As soon as yee-haw hits a certain octave, hate crime and T minus 10, 9. The unemployment rate in our country is around 6.5%. I'm told that's pretty good. I could care less. I wish a president would have the balls to say what I'm about to. 10% of Americans don't deserve jobs. Good night. Like, that's a number I can get my head around. Of course, there's exceptions to that. That's not who we're talking about. But if you don't think 10% of Americans are lazy pieces of shit, then you have never traveled anywhere.
Yeah, that's true.
Because the number that blows me away is that over 90% of Americans have jobs. Who the fuck is hiring, you morons?
I was trying to figure out where he was going with the 90%, and that is a funny way to go with it. Oh my God. Hey man, there's jobs for everybody. Jobs for everybody. And, you know, just because you're not the brightest, you still should get a job, you know, somewhere. Somebody will hire you. One thing I noticed, I think I was listening to the Jordan Peterson video. You know, he does those college lectures he has on his YouTube channel. He doesn't do them anymore, but I listened to one, and it was basically just like, you know, we really don't have a good solution for those with an IQ of around 85, you know, the lower end. We really don't have a good job solution for those folks. And I was just like, huh, yeah, that's an interesting way to think about that. I never thought about that. You know, the folks that are, you know, struggling cognitively and whatnot, just, that's kind of an interesting thing to think about. And I don't know how the hell we would solve that problem.
Because I wouldn't. The sense of entitlement, everyone thinks they deserve more than they have. No one's content. Young kids, I won't even talk to them anymore because you parents have done just a bang-up job.
Amen.
If I meet one more kid and ask him what he wants to do when he gets older, and he replies, "I'll be famous like you," I'm gonna kick him in his teeth.
Hello, TikTok.
You're never gonna be famous. Never. You have no chance. I didn't get here because I work hard. I have a gift from God. Everybody gets their 15 minutes of fame, buddy. Excuse me?
True.
That's an average.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 0 for you, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 20 years, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Everybody gets 15 minutes. You know Andy Warhol was on drugs when he said that, right? He didn't think he'd be quoted for the rest of eternity, let alone taken seriously as an artist. You ever go into like a cute local cafe and an artist has their work for sale on the walls? Has anybody ever not walked up, looked at the price, and gone, who the fuck do they think they are?
Yeah. It's usually way overpriced.
Just once, I'd like to walk into somebody's home and be like, wow, that is a beautiful piece. Where did you get it? And they're like, oh, funny story. I was getting a spinach wrap the other day for lunch, and I had $750 burning a hole in my pocket. And I was like, hey guys, unbolt this from your urinal and get it into my living room. You know what the unemployment rate in China is? Neither do I, because I'm American, I'm fucking stupid. It's gotta be low, right? Those people get up at 3 in the morning to practice the violin for 4.5 hours. Then they work on math for 12 hours, and whatever's left, they're ninjas. If you think for 1 second we will ever catch up with them, you are out of your mind.
Yeah,
Just
seriously.
sit at home and be patient until they take over. And quite frankly, they
All we have at this point is the military, and that's about it.
deserve our country. I go, oh shit, China's here. Do we take off our shoes? How does this work?
That was fucking hilarious. Oh my God, I laughed pretty hard at that. I miss his stand-up. He needs to come back and do it. Thanks for watching. Leave a recommendation down below. I'm definitely going to check out more Daniel Tosh. I might check out some Tosh.0. We'll see. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.